Hey everybody, Vail here with Joseki with Dummies doing a game review today. And an apology to start off with. I've been sick for the past week, so I've missed a week's worth of um, postings. And I still have a cough, so I will attempt to not cough in your computer face, but I no promises on that. What we're going to be looking at today is my game 3 at the Chen tournament at the beginning of this month in Seattle tournament at the Seattle Go Center. And I lost this game. I resigned. It was a 2-stone handicap for my opponent. And I want to start this game with a small, tiny little rant. Micah, the other my co-host person on this channel, as you probably know, uh, he was doing some research and he looked up some of the differences between different Go servers and how they rank their ranking systems, and the discrepancy in those things is huge. And I know that it's probably an extremely hard thing to do to get that right, to have one homogeneous ranking system so that when you meet somebody who says that they're 8Q or 6Q, that that you know what that means. Because the thing is like a few of my friends and I, we play on DGS, which is, it's, you know, it's a turn-based server. So, and so you can take a lot of time. It's a month typical for a game. So that's going to have an effect on the rankings, and then AGA has a different ranking system than KGS, and all of these different servers have different ranking systems. And if you go on to like Sensei's library versus the individual sites, they say different things about how to compare them. So one might say that if you're 8Q on DGS, you're an AGA 12Q. Well, but then if you go to the DGS site, they say kind of the opposite thing. So it's confusing. And what I think happens sometimes is if there is a discrepancy, what it leads to is problems in tournaments. So bear with me here. I'm almost done with my rant. But my point is that when I go into a tournament and I know that there's discrepancy with regards um, to my ranking, what I think my ranking is, well, there's this tendency to sandbag just a little bit. Now, I have not done that, but I've felt the pressure to because I'm not sure I'm as strong as I think I am on certain servers. So if there's a pressure to sandbag and make yourself to say that you are weaker than you actually are, then what that does is it creates a spiral, right? It creates a um, negative pressure. Everybody then has to do that. Otherwise, they're going to. If you go in saying what exactly you think you are, you're going to get paired with somebody who's 2 stones, 3 stones, 4 stones stronger than you, and you're going to get destroyed. So I think that that's kind of what happened in this game, because either I'm a lot weaker than I thought I was, um, or this gal who I gave 2 stones to is a lot stronger than she said she was. So as it is, I still have a lot to learn, a lot of lessons that I gained um, from this game. But we're going to go through it real fast because I've spent a good deal of time just fuming about that. So anyway, rant over. It would be nice if we all had accurate rankings, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So let's get into the game. I'm white. We open pretty standard here. I did not expect her to play so severely, but And honestly, I think this is a mistake. I don't think she should have done this, because what it lets me do is it lets me play a Joseki that effectively settles my group. She plays away, and I get I get to undercut her. So I get Sente, and I use it AlphaGo style, and I jump into the 3/3, trying to play severe here because of her 2-stone handicap against me. You can play away at this point. I've been doing this a lot in my games, to limited success. I will probably outgrow this. This is more of me experimenting with the AlphaGo style of jumping into the 3/3 and then taking away any potential influence. By the way, I think this is a better move than blocking at C2. If you block at C2, then black can completely enclose at B7, and now you've got a useless group on the board. So it's better to try to make eye space by extending up one more time at B7. Again, I apologize for my throat. It's very froggy. Okay, here I played this. I should have played this. This would have taken away any worries about this group. It's completely alive. It has influence towards the center. But in this case, I got a little greedy, and I wanted to kind of threaten to reduce Black's potential territory from her wall. And so I jumped out instead of just playing the normal move. I think a theme with this game, my big takeaway, is I made a lot of small mistakes. I made a lot of like one move mistakes that that are obvious in retrospect. Here's another one. This should not have played this. I should have just taken the 3/3. You'll see this comes back to bite me later, but I didn't want Black to get this move at H16. I thought that that was too nice for Black. However, I would be able to get this Hane, and without the threat of any bad stuff happening to my upper left group, this would have been really good for me, I think. Nevertheless, I played this here to avoid or to try to preemptorily reduce Black's framework in the Black's territory in the upper side. And at this point, I was thinking the game looked pretty good for me, but I've got too many weaknesses, as you will see shortly. So here, again, if I had had that move at M4 instead of jumping out at K5, I wouldn't have been as worried about this move as I was now. Um, I, however, okay, so I should have been worried about it, and I didn't. I ignored it. I think I should have just played here. This would have completely made this group solid. I'm done thinking about this group. It's alive. Even if Black cuts off this stone here, I don't really need to worry that much about it. Nevertheless, I don't do that. And I extend up once here in an attempt. I'm thinking about turning this into some territory. So you see here now, Black, because I didn't take the 3/3 at C17, Black can live here no problem in Sente, and I need to do some sacrificing in order to try and enclose or to surround Black stone. However, I was able to do it, but now I kind of waste it, because what I do is I play here. I should have played here again. One move difference would have made a huge change here. I don't know why I didn't do this. Um, yeah, I can't think of any reason why. Maybe I was afraid of something happening like here, here, and here, but I really don't see any reason to be afraid of that. Nevertheless, I played here, leaving a window open for black to escape, which she smartly takes, and then tries to make a decent amount of territory here after I've finished this sequence here. And it's not completely done. There's still things that black can do here, definitely. But uh, as I read it out now, as I read it out here, I think that I'm considering this stone captured and all of this stuff connected. Sorry. Okay, so a little too aggressive here on my part, I think. And I was thinking to try to get some forcing moves. So the whole reason all of that was played is so that I can get this move. This move here at J9 is why I double Hane'd and did all of the fancy footwork there so that I can get that in Sente. But it really is to no purpose because she's just able to jump out with a solid um, diagonal move like this. Okay, so this is a big, big mistake on my part. I have a relatively weak group here, and I have an invasion point here. 1 second, sorry. This move, I thought I had Sente here. Well, and I do, but I spent it on a relatively small move because there's really not any hope, as you'll see in the future, of me disconnecting this. Um, I was attempting to just, this is a reduction move. It's not an attempt to kill anything. Whereas black has severe moves that she can play on me, as you'll see shortly. So I should have just jumped out, made some territory, and protected against the severe move. After this, black makes her invasion. I jump out, but it's too late, and she has forcing moves to play. At this point, I can't let black get this move here because it's just putting pressure on this weak group while surrounding this weak stick. So I have to protect. More forcing moves, forcing moves. She's looking for life. This is premature. I shouldn't have played this. I should have played something else, like maybe just captured this stone here. That would have been better. Yeah, yeah. This was a foolish move on my part. So she responds in a way that's going to end up with her getting Sente, which she uses to then try to come out while again putting pressure. Now, at this point, I was thinking that this group here, black's group, only has one eye. And so I was thinking if I could eventually get this, if I could keep this to one eye, keep this from getting anything out, I could play this. If let's assume that I had like a connection like this, something where this was never going to be an eye. Well, this is a dead group now. So this is my big plan. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, aha, I can kill this. But what it requires is it requires me making sure that this group is alive, which is no guarantee, while at the same time putting enough pressure on this group so that it doesn't get a second eye, and keeping Sente. That's a tall order. and but it was really what I had in mind as I continued to play. Here again, I don't think I need to play as cautiously here. Maybe I think I could have gone ahead and done this. Um, this helps this group stay alive. You'll see that this is actually what loses me the game, the weakness in this group. So this move here at K5, instead of playing at M4, probably lost me the game in the long run. But I could have played here, I think, because this Hane uh, doesn't really end up being anything spectacular for black. Black doesn't get another eye, and there's still, while there's a potential to connect up to this group here, the bottom left, there are still ways for me to cut it off. So I shouldn't have been so cautious here, um, but I was. I was afraid of the Hane. And what that did is it allowed black to push through and exploit all the weaknesses in my bottom group, which is the rest of the game, basically. So you'll see that there's some frantic play on my part. Um, and the story switches briefly to making sure that her side group is alive while simultaneously keeping me pinned in. And then I play here thinking that, well, if I am going to lose this group down here, maybe I can get some compensation here by killing this group. But there's really no hope for that, because even if so obviously this just connects. So that's the move I played here doesn't even threaten to do what I thought it did. I could have played here, and in that case, if black plays on top trying to connect, I can successfully kill black's group. But that is not what black would do. Instead, black would play underneath, in which case while I do get to take away some of the territory on the top, everything's still all connected. And I'm only getting 2 points, and I'm taking away a little bit of territory, but not enough to swing the game. Punchline, this move could have been used elsewhere. Probably to shore up some of the weaknesses down here in the bottom group. So with her Sente, she pushes through again. And at this point, I realize that I have not enough room to make eyes on the bottom side of the board. So she squeeze plays. After a squeeze play here, and she connects, I resign. So, punchline, overall, I think, going back to the beginning-ish, simple moves like this lost me the game. This move was very important, as was I do think that not taking the 3-3 when I should have, that would have made a difference, but maybe not a game breaking difference. Another game breaking difference was this Hane should have been here. I think that also, that in conjunction, same move actually, isn't it? It's funny. Same move, just jumping out. I need to pay more attention to one space jumps and take them when they're necessary and don't take them when they're not. That's the secret to go, right? Knowing the right moves. So I learned a lot. I do think she was probably stronger than she said she was. But I'm going to be focusing on simple moves, making sure that my groups are solid in the beginning. As I move into middle game, I need to make sure that my groups are solid and totally alive, while not yielding too much territory to my opponent. So I hope you learned something here. I certainly did, and hopefully my voice will be back to its normal qualities, although this is very very sultry, right? Gives me some gravitas. Nevertheless, I don't feel awesome, so hopefully this will clear up over time, and I'll be able to do the rest of the posting schedule this week. We've got a lot of videos on this channel, all Go related, Joseki stuff, and we've got channels about life and death, and Endgame. Endgame is my favorite right now because I'm learning so much, and hopefully you're getting some benefit here as well. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care.